Washington Post reporter Taylor Lorenz has done such an effective job at her journalism that she has allowed for these conservatives to have a meltdown simultaneously, and I'm here for it. So she reported on the person behind the account known as Libs of TikTok. It's an account that wasn't really on my radar, but it turns out that this person specifically tweets out or posts about various individuals and frames them as groomers and pedophiles because they happen to be part of the LGBTQ community. Now, it's one thing to repost what someone is saying in a video. It's an entirely different thing to intentionally defame them and frame them as groomers and pedophiles. And so this person was doing these posts anonymously, and Taylor Lorenz figured out who it was. Now, before we get to the right-wing meltdown on this story, I think it's really important to do what I think a lot of people are failing to do today. Focus on the story itself and the details in the reporting, which make it abundantly clear that what she did here in her reporting and by revealing who this person is, in my opinion, she did nothing wrong. So the title of the piece is "Meet the Woman Behind Libs of TikTok, Secretly Fueling the Right's Outrage Machine." A popular Twitter account has morphed into a social media phenomenon, spreading anti-LGBTQ+ sentiment and shaping public discourse. Now, this isn't some random account that has absolutely no power. As Lorenz reports, this account has become incredibly influential in right-wing media, and it's been influential in essentially persuading right-wing lawmakers in red states to draft and pass legislation based on these posts. So Libs of TikTok reposts a steady stream of TikTok videos and social media posts, primarily from LGBTQ+ people, often including incendiary framing designed to generate outrage. This is graphic 2. Videos shared from the account quickly find their way to the most influential names in right-wing media. The account has emerged as a powerful force on the internet, shaping right-wing media, impacting anti-LGBTQ legislation, and influencing millions by posting viral videos aimed at inciting outrage among the right. Now, the account has been promoted by prominent figures, including Joe Rogan, Meghan McCain, and Glenn Greenwald, who apparently wanted to take some ownership of the account at one point. The online influencer, by the way, Glenn Greenwald not happy about that label. The online influencer, Glenn Greenwald, has amplified it to his 1.8 million Twitter followers while calling himself the account's godfather.
Look, I gotta interrupt for 1 second to talk about that. The account mainly goes after people in the LGBTQ community. And
private citizens, by the way.
The person behind the account, Chaya Rychik, I want to be clear about who it is. It's Chaya Rychik, okay? She's a hateful person, a terrible, terrible person who calls people who are gay predators, who says anyone who's allies of the LGBTQ community is mentally ill. She says that anyone who even mentions someone even being gay, that the fact that a gay person exists in a school is grooming, etc. Right?
Any educator who accurately describes their sexual orientation as anything other than straight should immediately be fired. This is a person who incites violence toward ordinary people who are doing their jobs, but they have their own political opinions, right? What I find so fascinating about all of the right-wing outrage over Taylor Lorenz's reporting here is that these are the individuals like, oh yeah, the left, they can't have a conversation. They can't stand opinions that are different from their own. Oh, they're always trying to cancel people. They're always trying to fire people. This woman behind Libs of TikTok went out of her way to get people fired from their jobs, educators fired from their jobs, for simply wanting to be open about what their sexual identity is while they're educators, while they're whatever, right? Yeah. They want to silence people who have sexual orientations that they don't like. That's what the right wing is all about. And to take away someone's livelihood over their identity is disgusting. Yeah. And if, look, she wasn't doing anything wrong, okay? If she was just simply reposting what people are saying on social media, well, then why did she want to be anonymous? Is it because she goes out of her way to defame innocent people as pedophiles and groomers. That's what that account did. That's what Libs of TikTok did. I want to just give you a few more details.
Hold on. So Glenn, who is gay, is calling himself the godfather of this account. So he signed on for this. Glenn, how much money is worth it? Jesus Christ, man. You wanna go dance for them, Glenn? Are you ever gonna admit that you've now become a sick right-winger that attacks your own community?
He doesn't need to, I mean, everyone knows, everyone sees it.
No, but the thing is, these idiots in the right wing, the dumbest people alive. So when I point that obvious fact out, that you point out is, come on, Cenk, it's too obvious to even mention, right? They're like, no, Glenn Greenwald's more to the left than you are. You morons!
I know, Cenk, but they know he's not. They know he's a useful tool for the right wing. The left knows he's a useful tool for the right wing. The right wing has an interest in presenting him as a leftist to say, see, we're right, the leftist agrees with us. They know what they're doing. That's part of their whole strategy.
That's why Glenn goes and dances for them for money.
Exactly, yeah.
So go ahead, Glenn, defend the fascists. The fascists coming after your own community. But hey, you're safe, you're good. Don't worry, Tucker's always gonna protect you. You're one of the good ones, Glenn. I bet they won't come after you at the end, right? You're sick and you should get mental health counseling. And now this Chaya woman claims, oh golly gee, I'm just sending out hate all over the world and I'm trying to get everybody fired. Cancel culture, well, I don't know. Golly gee, the right wing would never do cancel culture. Fire them, they're gay. They support gay people, fire them. You idiots, you are cancel culture. You are cancel culture. I can't stand how unintelligent right wingers are. Just the dumbest people on the planet. I want her fired because I don't agree with her. I don't like cancel culture. You moron, look at what you just said. Look at what you just said, you're the dumbest person. Okay, I just want to be clear. And why am I so angry? No, these fascists are here. They're targeting gay people right now. That's exactly what the Nazis did. They're targeting gay people and passing laws against them, saying that they're so evil and bad, no one should even utter the fact that they exist. No, I'm not gonna stand for it. I'm not gonna stand for it. We fight back here, and I love that Taylor Lorenz fought back.
And look, the fact of the matter is, she's being attacked as aggressively as she's being attacked because she's good at her job. And because the right wing, as sad as I am to say it, is just not used to anyone fighting back, right? You see these ineffective Democrats in Congress, one embarrassment after the next. It's just pathetic. And then for once, we see someone, A, do her job well, okay? And then B, more importantly, after she's been attacked relentlessly over and over and over again, she doesn't stop, she keeps doing her job and they hate her because she's effective. So I hope she keeps reporting on these things. And again, if Chaya doesn't think she did anything wrong, if all she's doing is reposting what other people are putting up on social media, why did she want to be anonymous? Why is it such a big deal that her identity has been revealed? And she's not just some, innocent private citizen who's being targeted in this unfair way. This is someone who has essentially served as this, defamation factory that influences both right-wing media and right-wing legislation. And I want to give you specific examples in just a moment. As Ari Drennan, who works over at Media Matters, says, Libs of TikTok is basically acting as a wire service for the broader right-wing media ecosystem. It's been shaping public policy in a real way and affecting teachers' ability to feel safe in their classrooms. Also, a media strategist for the ACLU says, the role I've seen this account playing is finding new characters for right-wing propaganda. It's relying on the endless stream of content from TikTok and the internet to cast any individual trans person as a new villain in their story. Because targeting a group of people who have no power in America right now, who are dealing with the worst forms of harassment already, who have a high suicide rate because of how terrible it is to be a trans person living in the United States. Yeah, let's go after those people. Let's make those people the enemy and our targets. And many of them, again, are educators. They're people who are working class, who aren't trying to cause any problems, but don't want to hide their identity because of right-wing bullying and harassment. And again, Libs of TikTok does that and only that. That's the only point for that account. I want to go to more details about who Chaya is. So Chaya has been working as a real estate salesperson in Brooklyn, when in November of 2020, she created the account that would eventually become Libs of TikTok. When registering the domain libsoftiktok.us last October, she used her full name and cell phone number linked to her real estate salesperson contact information. So if you want to be anonymous, maybe think a little ahead of what you're doing, right? Yeah. So this is easily accessible information. Taylor Lorenz was able to access it, and she reported on it. Under her first handle, Chaya, and all those numbers, she minimized COVID, cast doubt on the election results, and promoted a dubious story about a child sex trafficking ring.
Of course she did, because she's a liar and a conspiracy theorist, and that's why the right wing loves her.
On November 23rd of 2020, Rachik changed handles, this time going by Shia Ray and identifying herself publicly as a real estate investor in Brooklyn. She began doubling down on election fraud conspiracies using QAnon-related language. Early that December, she joked about launching a clothing line titled "Voter Fraud is Real." So that's who she is. You get a little sense of what she likes to do. She was there during the Capitol riots on January 6th, because of course she was.
And of course she lied about it and how the police were using rubber bullets. God knows if she was even there. I mean, she's a notorious, obvious, pathetic liar.
Now, she decided to pivot to Libs of TikTok on April 19th, 2021. And it really started to blow up after Joe Rogan drew attention to it on his show. So just 4 months after getting started, Libs of TikTok got a big break. Joe Rogan started promoting the account to millions of listeners of his hit podcast.
Because he's a meathead who hates trans people.
He mentioned it several times on his show in August and then again in late September. Libs of TikTok is one of the greatest effing accounts of all time, he said. With his seal of approval, Rachik's following skyrocketed. And again, she loves to brag about getting educators fired. So here's an example, screenshot from the account. Any teacher who utters the words, "I came out to my students," should be fired on the spot.
And Joe Rogan and Bill Maher, cancel culture enthusiasts. Boy, they love to fight against cancel culture. They're like, oh, it's my favorite account, the one that gets people fired for being gay. I mean, we hate gay people. Of course you should fire them for being gay, or even talking about people that are gay, or acknowledging anyone who's gay. Fire them, fire them, fire them. That's what Rogan and Bill Maher say. Oh, but no, it's not about them. See, that's the thing with right wingers, right? If it affects them, then it's important. Oh, I don't want to be canceled for calling someone the N-word on purpose. I don't want to be canceled for saying awful, hideous, racist things, right? But I want you fired immediately, because I don't like that you're gay.
Imagine if there was an anonymous left-wing account on Twitter that went around accusing, forget private citizens, prominent right-wingers as pedophiles, rapists. Why not? How would they feel? Would they want to know the identity of the person who's defaming them? Well, some of them actually are pedophiles and stuff like that. They've been caught or have covered for pedophiles, but that's another story for another time. Like, I'm sure they would want to know the identity of those individuals, especially if that account was actually influencing policies that had an impact on their lives, that did away with their livelihood. Let me give you more. So again, she loved to brag about getting educators fired. Taylor Lorenz offers a specific example. Tyler Rinn, a former English teacher in Oklahoma, posted a video telling LGBTQ kids shunned by their parents that Rinn was proud of them and loved them. It was featured on Libs of TikTok last week. Since being featured on the page, he's been barraged with harassment and death threats.
Well, I thought you guys were concerned about outing people. Well, okay, you amplified that video by Rinn, and then promoted your lunatic fascist followers to send them death threats. What happened to free speech? What happened to not outing people? Yeah, okay, he did the original video, and look at how hateful they are. Look at what terrible people they are. And if you're gonna be like, oh, Cenk, don't call her hateful just because she despises gay people and thinks that if you're a gay student, you shouldn't be comforted by your teacher. You should be yelled at, derided, and the teacher should make you feel as bad as the parents do, and maybe until you commit suicide, okay? No, I don't agree. I think a person who does that is terrible. I don't want to be polite to Nazis.
I mean, we're talking about people who have defended Alex Jones incessantly after he lied about the parents of children who were killed during the Newtown massacre, the Sandy Hook mass shooting. He got his followers to harass and literally send death threats to the Posner family who lost their son in that massacre, okay? I don't hear any of these right-wingers going after what Alex Jones did because they love it. They love the harassment when they're doing it. They love the threats when they're doing it. They love the defamation when they're doing it, okay? Because for them, that's power. That's how they flex their power. And when someone dares to fight back, instead of focusing on the story, what do they want to focus on? Taylor Lorenz bad. Taylor Lorenz mean. Let's go after Taylor Lorenz. We don't like it. We're used to leftists not fighting us effectively.
They're used to Democrats who are cowards, right? And the minute that any of these goons, this Gestapo, says boo to an establishment Democrat, they're, and the Democrat runs away. Okay, but when we don't run away, when Taylor Lorenz doesn't run away, and we actually fight back with facts, oh man, all of a sudden they catch feelings. But we're making a mistake. We keep thinking that they have any degree of logic. They don't. They're just very simple people filled with hate. So they go, me do something that is good. You do same exact thing that is bad. And we think, well, that's hypocritical, isn't it? That's irrational. But they don't even understand what logic is. They don't understand what rational is. So they think, if you want to get me fired because I hate black people and I'm a cop and I beat up black people all the time as part of my job, that's cancel culture. But if I get you fired for telling a poor kid, hey, it's gonna be okay, hang in there. Well, of course I should get you fired. That's not cancel culture because I hate you. They don't care, they're just so unintelligent. It's impossible to talk to them. And we live with them. I don't know what to do with them. This Chaya Rychik lady now moved to West Hollywood. Okay.
West Hollywood of
West Hollywood, that's the epicenter.
Why'd you move to West Hollywood?
Yeah,
I mean, it's known for a large population of LGBTQ people. Why would you live there?
Why'd you move there? If you hate them so much, why don't you get the hell out of that community? Because you're not welcome.
Not welcome.
Okay, you're the Gestapo that is trying to intimidate that community. You're not welcome. Now, I want to be very clear. So there's an important part of this where they say, she got doxxed. No, again, I know right-wingers, they don't care about facts. But for the rest of you, I have to clarify. Doxing is when you say this is their address, okay? And you should go do something about it. Doxing is not, this is the human being saying that, okay? So you know who we are, you know our names, you know our faces. That doesn't mean you have a right to come to our homes, right? Especially if you're rando that has nothing to do with anything. That doesn't mean you could publish our home address and you could threaten us, etc. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you're left wing or right wing. Apparently, I don't know if Tim Pool is another liar, but if he's telling the truth, and I don't know, I assume that he actually is telling the truth.
You should not assume that.
Maybe I'm wrong, but he says he's getting swatted 7-8 times. That's an outrage. That's unacceptable. I don't care who's doing it. It's unacceptable any way you look at it. But just saying who someone is not doxing them. That's just not true. So I got an anonymous person during my campaign run who just started putting out of context videos. And she's like, nope, I demand not to be known. Well, she's an Democratic establishment hack. And Jake Tapper and all the other idiots in the media were like, I don't care who she is. I'm not gonna do any journalism. Let's just quote her, right? No, you don't get to be anonymous if you're in the public square. So in this case, Taylor Lorenz did go to her house to do reporting that does, if you're not a reporter, don't pretend that you are, okay? Taylor's an actual reporter and she had no idea. By the way, the main story that she broke is that it turns out, yes, it's definitely her. And the reason she broke it is because idiot Glenn Greenwald confirmed it accidentally.